Having just reviewed the Generation 1 991, which were introduced in 2011, we're jumping right into the Generation 2 Porsche 911. These are turbocharged, no longer naturally aspirated. And, you know, some people wonder, what are the key differences? Well, do I buy that? Do I buy this? They're at a similar price bracket. Or some people even ask, why are the 991 Generation 1 Carrera S is worth as much as they're worth? I mean, you're basically paying the Generation 2 money for a Gen 1. Why? Oh, and why and why? Well, to really find out the answer, we've got to drive it. And only then I can actually explain to you why people pay the kind of money they pay for the Generation 1. And maybe you should actually find out a couple of other newer things about the Generation 2 and why perhaps one should consider buying the Generation 2. It's the slicker PDK gearbox. It's a much more comfortable and a dailyable ride. Yes, it's not as exhilarating. It's still a Porsche 911. It still offers absolutely phenomenal performance figures, but it's a different 911. It's a more evolved 911, and in some sense, to really know, as I said, more about it, we've got to drive it. But before we could do that, press that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and hopefully you can really, from the get-go, they're an absolute massive improvement over the Generation 1. I mean, from how the steering feels, from the PCM here, and just feeling that the PDK gearbox is that bit slicker and more responsive, and overall this car just wants to comfortably go and drive. This has all of the 911 characteristics that you would expect of any Generation 911, but the Generation 2 991 is honestly a car that you don't feel tired and you don't feel worked out, which is what you would probably feel with some of the other generations of the 911s. These have become cars that you could actually live with and, you know, use and drive practically every single day. I know we probably have said this about every other Generation 911 previously, but honestly, you've got to drive this to know. Having the Chrono Sport Plus package takes it to a level of its own, and let's actually get a good feeling for that before I can get into the performance figures. So we've got that on, got PASM on. We're at 4,500 RPM and just drives and picks up speed and still sounds beautiful. Is it as exhilarating as the Generation 1 991 Carrera S? No, but the performance figures of this is in some instances better or as good as the Carrera S. Obviously these are now the 3-litre turbocharged engines, which produce 365 bhp, whereas the Generation 1 991 Carrera S is, this being actually the base, the Generation 1 991 Carrera S produced 395 bhp. But the 0 to 60 on a base 991.2 is quicker by 0.1 seconds over the Carrera S of the previous generation, of the Carrera S, which is the previous generation. That did it in 4.5 seconds. This does it in 4.4 seconds. Torque-wise, this is 450. The generation before S variant, the torque is 440. What I love about this generation is not just the dailyability and the fact that it's a convenient, comfortable car to drive every single day. Also, the economy figures are massively improved. I mean, you could, in terms of combined MPG, you could be looking at getting up to 38 miles per gallon, and motorway 45. And the top speed is in the mid 180 miles per hour, and it comfortably picks up speed, and the braking, the gearbox, everything is just perfect. You know, it is just so agile, slicker, and overall a much more improved Porsche 911 over its predecessor. And it's a car that every time you get into it, you want to drive, you want to be in it, and it's not necessarily one of those Porsche 911s that you necessarily want to feel like it's going to be your weekend car, or feel like it's going to be that car that you're going to take out and really smash through the B roads or the A roads and have that exhilarating fun. You can, should you want to, but overall I think you've got to be a certain person to enjoy the beauty of the Generation 2s, and you know how amazing they really are. You might ask yourself, am I a fan? Absolutely, without a doubt. Any day I'll get into one of these and drive it, and have a lovely weekend to go somewhere to the Brecon Beacons or to the Lake District. So overall, again, if you are someone that are looking for the characters or the characteristics of what I've described in the Gen 2 991, don't rule it out. Do go ahead and do buy it. So if you are looking for whether it's the Generation 1 991 or the Generation 2 991s, we've got them all in stock, and please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting us. And as talked about right at the beginning of the video, this is the Generation 1 Porsche 911 991 Carrera S, introduced in 2011, so fairly old and dated according to some, but exhilarating. This is the 2016, the mid-cycle refresh, the 991 Generation 2 3-litre turbocharged. And are they exhilarating? Well, not really, but not everyone is looking for that exhilarating, smashing their car kind of a feeling. And it took me a while to realize that, because I've got to meet my customers, to talk to them, to learn about them, and to discuss their reasons for getting this or their reasons for getting this. And I'm so happy that I'm learning and I'm developing as I go along. So don't forget to press that subscribe button. Thank you for watching the videos and the reviews, and just look at the beautiful lines in these 911s. Absolutely love it. God, give me one to take home for free. I'll go retire in Portugal. Having driven it, it still puts a smile on my face. But what I love about this one is the owner's history, the spec, and the overall condition this is in. This is a one owner from new Porsche 911, and it's in absolutely mint condition. I'm not here to try to sell this car, despite the fact it is available with us, but it's the spec that most captures my attention on this one. This is in the night blue metallic with this beautiful, gorgeous spec all around it, starting from the small little touches in chrome that you find around the windows, the 19-inch Carrera alloys. And what I most love about the Generation 2 is the rear sculpted headlights, and the rear diffuser has just been redesigned and improved. This grille right here, it has much cleaner and elegant lines running through the whole car overall. And you can see that this is in some ways a rather more beautiful, better sculpted. It's got these elegant, attractive and aggressive lines. Just looking at that front bumper overall, just looking at the headlight designs. And then if you come into the inside of it, you can actually see a massive, I would say, quality, or just not even necessarily a facelift, despite this would be called the mid-cycle refresh of the Porsche 911 991 in 2016. You're probably wondering the leather interior. I love this leather interior because this is the espresso natural leather interior. It's absolutely beautiful. It's not the normal standard grey black. This is elegant. It's nice, and it feels and it smells perfect and beautiful. And having natural leather And a Porsche 911 isn't cheap. It is a big optional. And this being a first owner since new Porsche 911, you'd also be pleased to know that it's got a Porsche warranty, well, a Porsche main dealer warranty until March 2024. Obviously, you get the redesigned steering wheel, the slicker PDK gearbox. This has the Chrono Sport Plus package with the Porsche Active dynamic engine mounts, including the fact that this has PASM. And it's got the heated seats, and the Porsche crest here, and overall you get the other slight little subtle touches, such as having the retractable side door mirrors. Overall, this is an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous 911. But just in general, the Generation 2s are overall this elegant and this phenomenally good looking, and they sort of capture anyone's imagination and anyone's thought. So I hope I've done it some justice. And if you are looking at getting yourself a Gen 2 and you want something that you can daily and comfortably drive and just be happy with it, and overall feel like you're not buying a dated 991 that was introduced in 2011, but as a matter of fact, getting something that is a bit more newer and recent. I mean, these are still, you know, about 5 years old, whereas the 991 Generation 2s are as old as, you know, 12, 13 years, depending on the age of a 991 you get. So if you are looking for a Gen 2 991, don't rule it out, do buy it. Thank you. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, and we will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.